guys, this is Guitarist Denis Taaffe. I'm in my home studio, and I want to welcome you to the making of Modern Rock Guitar Volume 312, my 312th album, instrumental album, surprisingly. The reason why I say Guitarist Denis Taaffe on my albums is not because I think I'm like the only guitarist around or whatever. It simply is, and I always try to explain this, when I was growing up and I would look for guitar albums, especially people I didn't know, I couldn't go by the name. I didn't know, was that a guitarist or not? You know, and before buying the album, you know, you weren't able to hear it most times. And sometimes I could tell from the graphics on the album, but sometimes not at all. So that's why I always remembered that. Okay, yeah, as I was said, I was perspiring because I did some recordings just now. In fact, I'll give you a little sneak peek. I haven't edited or mastered these at all, but you can hear a little bit of it here. I just recorded this, and this was done with a Albion amp, which, thank goodness, I was afraid that I had blown the speakers in it, but no, they're back. So I don't know if I had time, the voice coil had time to recuperate or what have you. And then I also have a Fender Deluxe Reverb. So I use these two, and this is the kind of stuff for Volume 314, which is one of my favorite kind of sounds right here. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of repeating pattern, delayed guitar is one of my favorites. Okay. Anyway. So, just recorded that. Well, I'll go through that later. Right now, yeah, we're to go through the making of Modern Rock Guitar 312. And 312 just kind of happened by accident. You know, I just started recording some tracks and that sounds kind of neat. And there are some tracks I really like on it, but I thought it was a little soft. And when I mean soft, I mean nice, you know. You always want your music, you know, to kick butt, you know. But in this case, yeah, it started out kind of soft, and you know, it went its own way. And when you're improvising, you don't really have much of a choice, you know, except to see where it leads you, you know. And I was very pleased. I used a lot of sounds, you know, that I've been using. I'm really getting used to them. I'm still abusing the Eventide hot sauce algorithm to get that kind of keyboardy sound. I just love that sound. Now, let's look at the album cover real quick. And in fact, I think it fits very well. So I just did this album cover, and it's actually a statue, and I put my face in the statue, and then because my face was in color, I made it a grayscale image, and there it seems to fit quite well. And it's kind of odd, you know, odd looking. It's like, wait a minute, is that a statue, or is he really sitting there? And if you'll notice, you know, the landscape here is kind of weird too. It's kind of artificial. And in fact, that's why I called it Virtual Landscapes, is the name of the album. Mostly due to the cover. Now, I'm going to hopefully upload it this evening, and it's actually ended up being 7 tracks, and as I recall, the very first track is very interesting, because here's what I did. I recorded something forwards, and then took everything, the whole thing, and played it in reverse, and then played over that, right? And it gives you this really kind of cool thing, cool sound. And we'll take a listen to it here. And this one I think is going to be called like First Love or Firstborn, thinking of a little, why a little animal infant, right? Like a little horse, you know, and he's getting on his legs for the first time or whatever. I don't know, I'm just kidding. Well, anyway, some kind of soft scene like that, you know. Remember, my focus is doing film music. It's not, you know, to shake my booty or to, you know, to get on stage with 10 dancers, you know, or even to get on the radio for that matter. It's really, my focus is film music and documentaries and so on and so on. Alright, so anyway, let's take a listen to the first track. It's kind of interesting, really. I think it worked out very well for being in reverse like that. Yeah, so here it is. Gotta turn it down a little bit. Now there I just put some forward guitars, some little guitar on top of it. Fast forward a little bit. I think I put in some delayed guitar or something over it at the end, near the end. It's about the halfway point. Yeah, there's some of that delayed guitar. Can't hear it very well, but anyway, that's a really, I think for me, very interesting track, but it also sets up the album, you know, as being this kind of softer style of music, you know. Someone referred to my music, this type of music right here, as nice. Well, okay. So, in any case, so I really like that track. And it definitely set up ideas for the next tracks. There are 7 in all. I think the whole album is 48 minutes and 18 seconds. And what I recall is I used a Fender Champion 100 solid state amp, and then the Fender Deluxe Reverb, which is a 22 watt alt tube amp. So I used those two in stereo, and I think it's one of the few times where I didn't use the album. As I said, I was afraid I had blown the speakers in it, so I gave it a little time to rest. Thank goodness it's back in action. Lucky for me. So definitely have to be a little careful. Okay, let's move on to track 2. Has no name yet. Tonight it should have a name. Somehow something having to do with virtual landscapes because of the album cover. Let's hear that. Yeah, there's some layered guitar doing loops and things. And there's some solo guitar over it. Definitely using those Fender amps. Notice that it changes the way I play, depending on what amp I'm playing with. And you'll hear this kind of thing in the background. And it's this kind of reverb type thing. And that's a shimmer effect. Now, those who play guitar and have delay pedals, you know what I'm talking about, the shimmer. Where you play something and it kind of leaves this haze, taking the delay part and it's a lot of reverb. Yeah. So I can see this, I don't know, an eagle taking care of its infants. Whatever. Some kind of film type thing. Okay, let's move on to track 3 here. And that's a 421. Oh my. I really like this kind of stuff right here. This is my favorite kind of music, really. Guitar sounds especially. And here you've got the pattern playing being looped, which is on a delay. But then also you have an octave guitar, which is where you're playing a guitar and then an octave up playing the same thing as well. Makes it a little bit sound like a keyboard, kind of. So this is the kind of thing that, would provide, in a film scene, would provide tension. Like if someone's robbing a bank and there's a car waiting outside for them. Okay. Alright. Believe it or not, I had to turn my air conditioner on because it got really hot in here. Oh, and let me show you something right here on this track. Hold on a second. See if I can pause that. Yeah. Well, on earlier albums, I used to use a lot of samples, which are basically sounds that were pre-recorded and things. Now here I'm not using any samples. However, one of my favorite samples I would use is this kind of bassy sound, real low bass sound. It would be, throw that in and it would be kind of like, oh, the listener's not expecting it. And here I did the same kind of thing, using that hot sauce keyboard algorithm, the Eventide, and playing the low note and getting that kind of same thing, kind of a subsonic type sound. You'll hear it here. So here's a normal sound. Okay, I'll tell you when it's up. Okay, it should be right here. Right there. And you'll hear it again. Right there. It's real subtle. you gotta be real careful doing that kind of stuff because it's hard on the speakers, the guitar speakers. I'm lucky I didn't blow a speaker. I should be ashamed of myself for taking the chances like that. Yeah. Anyway, it makes it for a really interesting sound there. Okay, let's move on to track 4. Okay, and track 4 is a long track. It's 8 minutes and 55 seconds. Let's take a listen to that. Okay, now this is a darker track here. Some guy walking down an alley, and there's 2 people following him. Right. And they've got masks on. And they're carrying pipes to beat you with. That could be a film scene. Then again, it could be, you know, some horror movie scene too. Okay, there's that subsonic, another one that I use as well. Right, to get that real low bass sound. And that's exactly what that sample would sound like. But instead of the sample, I just played it right there. That real low sound. You know. Yeah. That emphasizes kind of the darkness, provides the tension. Walking by a house and you look in the window and there's some old lady staring back at you and her eyes are red, or you know. But it can be used for that kind of thing, you know, that's the idea anyway. Then again, I suppose I could also see it, you know, at the beginning of a horse race, like the Kentucky Derby recently, right? And all the horses are getting ready to run. You can feel the tension in the air, and the horses are looking at each other, and the little tiny jockeys, you know, and they're small. Surprising. Anyway. Very nice. Okay. I won't ruin the album for you. Oh, remember that shimmer effect? Here it is. You have to really listen for it, but it's there. It makes things kind of linger, you know. If you play a chord, it kind of lingers in the background, in the distance. Okay, let's move on to number 5. And definitely using the deluxe reverb here. And it's 5 minutes and 28 seconds. Let's hear that. Yeah, you hear the main chords are just deluxe reverb, Fender clean chords, and over that I layered this kind of a reverb guitar way in the distance. imagine that in a film it'd be change of seasons would be good for this, or flowers opening for the first time or whatever. Or it could be a theme of some sort. Yeah, there's a solo guitar with a lot of reverb. Okay, it's kind of a different track there. And let's fast forward that because it's 5 minutes long. Here's a 4-minute mark. There's some of those Fender Deluxe reverb chords. And then I have one layer of loops going in reverse. Interesting. And then I've got some guitars. Playing double stop type notes. And of course, there's a little bit of that pattern playing as well. Okay, now here's one. Man, this one I might actually cut into 2 tracks because it's awfully long. It's like 14 minutes and 57 seconds. So maybe I should give that another look. Let's take a listen to it and see why it's so long. So here I've got playing the bass, emulated bass on guitar. I'm playing the chords. Definitely because of that Fender Deluxe reverb there. And you'll notice the little harmonics. And it kind of dates the track a little bit. In particular, reminds me so much of Randy Rhoads, guitarist who played for Ozzy Osbourne, would often use harmonics in this fashion. There's some of that pattern playing. Alright, let's go to the 5-minute mark just to see. Alright, let's move it to the 9-minute mark. So here I've got all kinds of loops going, and one of them was playing in reverse there for a second, and then a couple layers of that pattern playing. Interesting. And now if we keep going to 12-minute 33 mark. Let's see. Now that's interesting because that kind of breaks down the track to just its minimum. You know? Because there you've got the delay guitar. And I think it quits. Yeah. Makes an exit in reverse. And that gives you kind of the minimum of the track there. So I think what I may do there is perhaps use the minimum track with the minimum kind of stuff as maybe a part 1, and the more intricate things with solos and so on as a part 2. So this may need further editing. I really try to keep tracks to 10 minutes or under if I can. was always told that tracks over 10 minutes, people kind of get bored with it because it's so long. So, yeah, I think I may do that with this one. So, it may end up being 8 tracks later tonight. We'll see. Okay, and now, track 7. Right? And this is one where I didn't use the Albion amp at all. I used 2 Fender amps, a Fender Champion and a Fender Deluxe Reverb. Okay, let's hear that. And it's 8 minutes and 57 seconds. Yeah. This definitely has the main theme as those guitar chords. And underneath I'm playing emulated bass, looping those. So here's the last track, and I really like this track very much. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. You got the guitar chords there, clean chords, and then I'm playing that emulated bass on guitar there. And then you're gonna hear the Eventide hot sauce algorithm, and I'm playing a little Mixolydian lead right here. Right. Always reminds me of a kind of an alien sci-fi type sound. Wah, 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 wah. I really like this track very much. It's 8 minutes long. So, of course, here comes the pattern playing. Kind of gives it a rhythmic pattern, you know, in the background, which is really nice. Because music with no drums or anything can get real stagnant, you know, like it has no motion. And so putting in that in, the little pattern playing rhythmic delayed guitar kind of helps with that very much. Okay, and if we move that along, 6-minute 26 mark. Notice that now there's a couple layers of the pattern playing, and the pattern playing is becoming more dominant. I'm starting to layer the different parts there of the pattern playing. So while it's the same thing, it's much more intense as it builds, you know. So there you go. That's album 312. And I am very pleased with the album. Very pleased with this album, you know. And I tried some different musical ideas, you know, and it was a little harder, you know, because a lot of times, you know, with that Fender Deluxe Reverb, you know, it's just these clean chords, you know, with no effects or what have you. I suppose reverb from the amp. But other than that, nothing else. But it's such a nice, clean sound that it works very well. And then when I add in the looping stuff, it tends to work very, very well. In fact, I won't ruin it, but this is how CD 313 came about. And believe it or not, that was CD 313 was recorded in one session. Just boom. Which is hard to believe. And we'll do a making of for that album as well. But for right now, we're concentrating on this album. The other nice news, I suppose, is I joined a music library that licenses music to film and TV series and documentaries and commercials and things, and so we'll see how that goes. Maybe they could use some of my music in some of their programs. We'll see. Now, believe me, there's a lot of people doing that, and the competition is fierce, you can be sure. But at least it gives me another outlet for my albums, which is great. So, there you go. Alright, we'll see you next time. Okay, and the next one will be the 313th album, which has already been completed, and I just recorded some tracks for 314. Not the whole album, but just a couple of tracks. I'm very pleased with those as well. Alright, see you next time. Bye.